information, you know what I mean, that ordinary people don't know about, you know what I mean?
Well, that's awesome because it looks like it's going to be fun. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it out to that, man. I can't imagine spending 4 days out in the heat and with all the humanoids and everything. I think I would just get too pissed. And but you know,
wasted. But that's all you. But you're the wasted man. You get all fucked up everywhere you go.
I know, but I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, that's 4 days straight of having to be wasted just to put up with people. That's a rough task, man. If I could just go for one night, see, I would come to an XWW show or go to a wrestling show because then it's just one day, you know, just one. You don't have to sit around putting up with a bunch of bullshit with four fucking days worth of humanoids and sweat and grotesqueness, and I think it would just be awful. But speaking of not awful, awesome, fucking, we heard you last week, GQ, the Atomic Drop show, killing K. Ross, our guy K. Ross, you're killing him, and it was pretty funny, and you got a lot of shit going on apparently from the interview that we played at the top of the show. You sound like you got a school going and you got a promotion going.
Man, I'm a super busy dude doing super busy things, trying to make super cool things happen for other super cool people. I've been just hustling my ass off trying to make everything pop since about January of this year. I had a partner when we were going to kind of relaunch the school last year, and then as of January I kind of went solo and took over, and we've been doing 5 shows now. My guys are growing, getting good, and it's been a blast, and we're just trying to make some things happen, man.
Well, for the people that don't know you, that are listening tonight.
Who doesn't know me that's listening tonight? Everyone knows me. Come on.
Maybe not.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Yeah, you'd be shocked how stupid people are, or maybe you wouldn't. or how, the wrestling fans. Give me a fucking break. But you were at XPW, the original one, and you were in Wrestling Society X. Both of those, Wrestling Society X from MTV, got the one season. A lot of people remember you from all the DVDs that used to be done in Best Buy and shit like that. So a lot of people know GQ Money, but how did you get into XPW to start out with?
Yeah, well, back in 99, when I graduated college, I ended up starting my own indie out in Denver, Colorado, and involved with the indie was the creation of a school. Some guys that were down there, this guy Dan Magnus and Bobby Black. Bobby was trained by Steve Kern and stuff, and he was sending some people down to Steve Kern's school in Florida. But I came in contact with them. I was doing a radio show actually at that time. Came in contact with them, and we just got together and started doing something. Grew an indie. I created a fed that was awesome. We drew mass crowd appeal in Denver, mass media attention in Denver. I was on every single news station. I was doing roundtable discussions on PBS out there. I was on every radio interview. I mean, it was just, it was sweet. But it kind of got as big as it was going to get, and it was time for me to make my career to go to the next level. So I contacted Kevin Kleinrock over at XCW and made something happen. I actually moved out there to California with myself, this big man who I call the Giant, 7 foot, 450-pound dude, who was in a couple of XPW shows, but it didn't pan out long term, and also TJ Rush. We came out together and kind of did our thing. So it's funny, a lot of people on the SoCal scene thought I just came out of nowhere. I was just working for Rob in the world of pornography. Now it's far from it. I was a wrestling guy that wanted to go working for a bigger and better and cooler and, wrestling company. So I kind of got into XPW and worked my way to what I'll say the top and became an executive of the company, one of the bookers, one of the writers. Was involved in all production and everything, this and that had everything to do with XPW for the last 1.5, 2 years of its existence. So.
Oh, that's awesome because the TV show and all the shows that you could buy on the at Best Buy and shit like that were awesome. It was some of the best shit, especially the later stuff was some of the best shit, I thought.
Sure, and what's crazy is, though, you didn't get to appreciate a lot of the TV show stuff because, that didn't come out on the DVDs. The DVDs were strictly the live shows, and they were also edited representations of the live shows with entrances removed and theme musics and blah, blah, blah pulled for, because of royalties. But, like, the XPW TV show was just a cross between, like, Saturday Night Live and a wrestling show and just some other stuff. It was just interesting, odd, funny, peculiar, wrong, raunchy, out there skits and vignettes combined with wrestling, and it was just a unique show and experience that no one else in the industry was duplicating at that time. I mean, when XPW went out of business, I was actually in TNA for a little bit, and when I was down there, I mean, never once did I just have that vibe where I felt that everything was as cool as I felt it was in XPW. I mean, XPW gets that bad rap for being the Fed it was and the outspoken renegades and rebels of the industry. But at the same time, I mean, every show you went to, there was a vibe and a feeling of that this show was cool. This show was bigger than just an indie show. Even though it was an indie show, it just had a feel and a vibe that you never knew it was going to happen, and you never knew that maybe someone could die on the show, and maybe even someone in the crowd may die when one of the stunts goes bad. Or I mean, it was just a feeling of something special. And I mean, I'm bringing in the word special a very negative connotation when there were just really positive, cool moments as well. But, I mean, it was just an awesome place, man. I mean, it was really just some of the best years of my life.
Yeah, well, for me, some of the most entertaining. It started off really bad. It was like, oh, shit, you buy these DVDs, and it's, like, dubbed over and shit. It was, like, horrible, and then it just got awesome. Like, just sort of out of nowhere, it went from being, like, horrid to being awesome. And, and that's why we still talk to all these XPW guys, and we bring them on the show and talk about XPW and shit, because it was just the coolest thing. I mean, ECW and XPW, and there's nothing like that now. There's nothing like cool and underground.
That's what it is, because even if you like cool, like really good indie wrestling, if on the West Coast you like PWG style, or if you like a Ring of Honor style, or even if you like a Chikara style, there's still nothing that just has that out there cool factor. Like there's niche factor, and there's like stuff that you like that appeals to you, but there's nothing that's just got that edge that's just like it's kind of just interesting. It's out there.
Right, yeah, well, yeah, because you can like the style of Ring of Honor or Dragon Gate, you can like the in-ring wrestling style, but outside of the ring, nothing that really hooks into you and makes you want to like tune in every time, except for the matches. Like the production's not great. I mean, it's good enough. It's fine.
And it wasn't just death matches at XPW. It was more than death matches. It was storylines, and it was characters. I mean, we really did like the job of developing characters and personas and making people larger than life. And I mean, we took people and we the other feds didn't necessarily see something in, and we turned them into something kind of out there and cool and did some crazy stuff. And at the same time, hell, you may see someone get thrown off a cage, blown up off a balcony, bloodied up, thrown through this, that, or whatever. I mean, crazy shit happened there.
Well, yeah, the characters is the main thing. Characters are the main thing in wrestling. That's what differentiates it from everything else. Like, and you can make almost any character cool. Like, it just Doink the Clown and make him cool. I mean, you can take Doink, or you can make him Heath Ledger Doink. I mean, you could take market him up and make him. But people don't want to have characters now. You got all these Ring of Honor type guys, and it's like everybody wants to be Benoit, and nobody wants to be Doink. I like Doink better. I would rather watch Doink.
Well, that's one of those things that makes what I'm doing a little bit different than what a lot of the other indies are doing in the SoCal scene. Is like my school and my style, the shows I'm doing. We definitely push the characters and the personas to the top of the importance level. I mean, the wrestling will come in time, and in fact, my guys have been wrestling pretty damn good. But like that stuff will come in time and development with experience, and by getting in the ring with better guys, and just the more passion they have for it, the better they're going to get in terms of work rate. But the stuff that's harder is to get that character, that charisma, that passion, and that persona to come forth and really connect and plug in with the audience and the fans, or in attendance. And my guys are doing it unbelievably well. I mean, that's just the one thing that I know that we're dominating the scene on, and this is what makes my pro wrestling school different and what I'll say better is because I have the balls to come onto a radio show that wrestling fans listen to as the owner of a pro wrestling school and tell you that pro wrestling, the wrestling itself, is probably the least important part of making you a pro wrestler. And every other trainer around the country is going to say, no,